Yeah! Hey,
Yeah!
everybody, welcome back to a little show we like to call
Roll with the troll.
Now, today we're going to talk about Halloween Ends. Now, we did a video just a few weeks ago called Who Will Be the Last Girl, where we were pontificating over Halloween Ends and how it's essentially going to end.
How will it end?
Yeah, you always get a last girl. And for the most part, I guess Halloween Kills kind of didn't follow that trope, really. But anyway, usually you get a last girl. And we were thinking, is it going to be Allyson? Like, are we going to see Laurie die? And then it's Allyson versus Michael at the end? Since this whole thing does seem to me to be kind of set up somewhat around Allyson, really.
Yeah.
They're playing a little fast and loose about who the last girl is going to be. And then, of course, the other option is, that Laurie would lose Allyson and then she'll be the one. Or we were pontificating over what if it's the two of them together? What if it's two last girls simultaneously duking it out with Mr. Myers? But we never really considered something.
What's that?
And I heard this talked about on one of the YouTube channels I listened to. I forget who. But he was saying, what if it just comes down to Hawkins?
Oh.
And I thought, well, okay, on one hand, that would absolutely check the box for a shocking thing that could potentially really enrage fans, because that's what David Gordon Green is. That's what they're all saying, is that this is going to make people mad, blah, blah, blah. So ending it without the girls and ending it with their, imagine Laurie's dead and Allison's dead, and it's just Michael versus Hawkins at the end. I got to tell you, that would be very surprising. I never would have imagined that. So that would definitely check the box for pissing people off and being unsuspected.
He's not very effeminate, so he can't really be a last girl.
No. So as far as I know, there's a couple guys in the comments who are always like, "That won't happen. They're not doing that." The one guy, Chris something, he does this all the time in the comments. He's like, "No, they already said they're not doing that." Try to understand. We're just sort of talking here for fun because it's fun to do that. This isn't like a guessing game.
Speculation.
Yeah. So just first, save the weird comments about how you're aware of what's going to happen already. Just fuck it, Chris. Don't worry about it. But I know it's unlikely they're going to want to do this because it's kind of got to come down. It's a girl power movie essentially. I don't think they want to derail that last minute and go no. Here's this guy instead. But artistically, I think it'd be an interesting move.
It would be a switch, yeah.
Right? Nobody would see it coming. And yet at the same time, once it happens, it's kind of teed up. Even though you don't see it coming, it is not crazy because, look, Hawkins is the fucking cop here, okay? And instead of Laurie always trying to go after Mike, I'm going to get him one final time. Well, let the police do their fucking job a little bit, please. I mean, this isn't that school in Texas where they didn't want to do a goddamn thing.
Oh, geez.
This is a very different situation. This is a cop who actually wants to do his job, wants to be involved. So in a way, in a very odd way, that actually would make the most sense. And don't forget, in Halloween Kills, we spent a good amount of time on young Hawkins in the flashback, right?
Yeah.
So there's a reason for that. So I actually don't think this is a crazy idea. I think it's very unsuspect. Like, you're not going to see that coming, but it would still make sense in the story to do that. So I think it'd actually be really interesting. And guys, look, I've already said in all our previous videos, I'm just up for an interesting, unique story, and I want to have my mind blown. I don't need this to check certain boxes. I really don't. So that would be interesting to me. Voice of Reason, what do you think?
Well, you don't want the usual. You don't like things that go according to a formula so strictly, right?
Talking about me or people in general?
No, you, specifically you.
Yeah, I really do. I love when you can create, with any movies, horror movie or not, when you can very creatively make us very happy, but completely subvert expectations and not just fit the usual shit. Like, I don't want to go in and just go, I know what's going to happen. That's not fun.
Yeah, when it becomes too predictable, like in a lot of movies, as you said, there's the last girl, and you can usually tell pretty early on who the last girl is going to be, and then sure enough, you get to the end of the movie, and you were right the whole time.
Every Friday the 13th, in the first 5 minutes.
Right.
In every single one of them, you're like, all right, she makes it to the end, I get it. You can get up and go to the bathroom so many fucking times. It's not going to really change, what's going to happen in the end. So yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Hawkins could be the last girl or guy. Could be the last person. That would shake it up a bit. So I think it's a valid discussion.
I think it'd be interesting because you could have Hawkins do a little bit of a diatribe about what's been going on with him over these decades. Maybe he had his own Laurie-esque story about how this haunted him and all this shit that we never heard about. That'd be fucking interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they tapped into a little bit of that in the last film, so why not keep that going and expound on it a little bit more? And they also, they showed that there's a lot of people who are still scarred and traumatized and living out this horror that they experienced so many years ago. So why not explore it with him too?
Yeah, he would know the most about it. I'm just thinking Hawkins over the years could have been talking to so many victims and families. Right. Well, not the victims themselves, but the families. And he could have a totally unique insight here that could make for a great ending. Now, I realize there's already been some leakage lately. So you guys probably know about this already, but we already kind of know this doesn't happen. That Laurie, and again, we're just talking about it because it's fun. But that ultimately, Jamie Lee Curtis, and the guy who plays Michael Myers, there's a couple of them now. They've still got Nick Castle, and then they've got the guy's name I forget. But they have basically said that when they shot the ending of the movie, like they were in tears, and then they've talked a lot about how they're going to do it. So I guess we pretty much know it really does end with Laurie and the shape the way we've kind of expected. But this would be a cool ending to me. If you could give enough insight from Hawkins explaining about how things have fucking haunted him over the years and the family people he's talked to, and because he is a cop, I mean, we've completely negated the police and their role in this whole fucking thing in all 3 movies so far. You realize they've had little roles. Loomis was telling them what to do. Loomis was like the star in the beginning, right, in 1978. And then Laurie's the one with the vendetta, and she's going to get him, and I'm going to kill Michael. It's like, it'd be so interesting if we actually got a cop's take in this, since we haven't seen that very much throughout the franchise. Very little. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my thought. And when I heard this come up in someone's YouTube video, I forget who, it might have been Craven or somebody, but when someone suggested this, I just thought, I could actually really see that being a unique and interesting end. Another way to go, you could have your cake and eat it too. You could make it look like Laurie's dead, and then Hawkins does this whole thing. He'll have like 15 minutes with Michael. I'm imagining like where he's got his gun at Michael, and Michael's kind of like, they're kind of like, what's that called when it's like 2 cowboys when you're kind of circling each other a little bit, that kind of move, where you're just waiting for someone to make the move. I could see that going on with him and Michael for a little bit, where he's really armed, where Hawkins is really armed. And then Laurie, turns out she's not dead. She comes like raging out of the basement all bloody, like, fuck you, Michael. Oh, that'd be fucking cool. So then you could have the Hawkins ending and still have the Laurie ending. Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun. So anyway, guys, like, I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Do you think this is a good idea to actually end this film with Hawkins as essentially the last central character? Should maybe he's not the last one, but maybe he actually does take down Michael for the most part? Like, so maybe someone else does survive, but he's the one who actually kills Michael or stops Michael or something. Let us know what you think. Voice of Reason, any final thoughts?
Hit the like button.
Subscribe to the channel, click the bells, all that shit. There's nothing scarier than when people enjoy a video online and they don't even bother to click like or show any kind of support for it. That is awful. The fucking worst. People, that's worse than anything Michael Myers has done. I've seen Michael Myers behead so many people, break so many necks, throw people down the stairs, out the fucking window. Probably buried someone alive at some point in one of those films. What I just described there about the like button, that's worse.
Worse than all of that.
Scarier than that shit. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Bye.